You've never seen anything like it because there's never been anything like it.
No one has ever mistaken it for a Mustang or Maserati.
Dodge Caravan. Shorter than a full-size station wagon, bigger inside, better mileage too, even front-wheel drive. Dodge Caravan.
The Minivan, a muscle or sports car, it is not.
Witness the emergence of a revolutionary automotive idea, Dodge Caravan.
The much maligned Minivan has been labeled boring and uncool. But 40 years ago, the Minivan altered the way families traveled near and far forever.
For no extra charge, you get 7 passenger seating, security drawer, air conditioning, and more.
We did front-wheel drive and used a 4-cylinder engine.
You can thank Leo Walsh for helping introduce the iconic vehicle to the American consumer.
We were trying to make a market for the minivan.
With an engineering degree from Virginia Tech in hand, the Newport News native was hired by Chrysler in Detroit in 1956.
I'm the one with a short haircut and no gray hair. That was the best decision I ever made, because if I'd gone to GM, I could have been lost in a big hurry.
In the 1950s, Motown was humming.
This is a story of an industry in action.
We had Valiant, Dart, Plymouth, Dodge, Chrysler, and DeSoto.
The former U.S. Marine proved his mettle while making $485 a month.
The little guy in the middle, the short one, still am.
In terms of promotions, Leo was in the fast lane.
Which I think I was the youngest chief engineer in Chrysler's history at that time.
In 1976, he was approached by an executive to design a vehicle unlike any other.
He says, you know, I want you to work on something that I believe we need a garageable van. And he says, go to work on it.
Leo's team turned the idea into a reality in 2 weeks.
My people designed a prototype by cutting down the big vans.
But the Walsh-led plans would sit on a shelf collecting dust for years.
Well, we had to prove that it was viable through the prototypes. And it was viable.
8 years later, Chrysler's legendary CEO, Lee Iacocca, green-lighted the project.
He thought it was a product that needed to be on the market, and no one had one. We made that design, and we tested it, and it was decided to produce it in 1984.
With its extra cargo space and roominess for passengers, the Chrysler Minivan was an instant hit.
Okay, that was a red leather interior for the Plymouth Voyager, 1984.
The company could not build them fast enough. The Minivan was here to stay.
Chrysler developed the first garageable van, and it was called the Caravan, Caravan.
Sales helped save Chrysler from financial ruin.
Well, it became the cash cow of Chrysler Corporation.
The success of his team's project caught Leo by surprise.
I didn't recognize it was going to be anything great, but I was very happy that Iacocca liked it.
The 93-year-old who lives at the Chesapeake Senior Center says GM and Ford introduced their own line of minivans, but nothing compared to Chrysler's.
One of the main features of the minivan was the front passenger, like mother or father, could get up and walk back.
After 32 years in Detroit, Leo retired in 1988, just 4 years after the first minivan rolled off the assembly line.
The world's best loved minivans, and that's true.
2024 marks the 40th anniversary of the minivan, proving good ideas get good gas mileage.
Since 1984, Dodge Caravan and Plymouth Voyager have proven to be two of the most successful vehicles of all time.
It was a landmark vehicle.
Leo doesn't take credit for the minivan. To this day, the team leader heaps all of the praise on his talented colleagues.
But Chrysler's minivan is still exactly the same platform it was in 1984.
Leo Walsh, the retired engineer who helped put a new way of driving in gear.
I enjoyed every minute at those jobs. That's all I got to say. I enjoyed every minute of my career.
For I Have a Story.
Very fortunate to be there at the beginning.
I'm Greg McQuade, CBS 6 News.